What happens when a Tesla skips leg day? How come I have 4 skinny tires on this brand new Tesla Model Y? Well, I'm gonna explain everything right now. I'm here in Ogden, Utah at the headquarters of Modern Spare. I wanna test out their spare tire solution. And I wanna see, is it actually more efficient to drive on a skinny tire versus a standard tire from the factory? That could be an interesting side benefit of running a skinny tire, but they also have a new solution to carry a spare tire in a brand new Tesla. So let's find out how it works. All right, and now I am off on my first loop with standard tires that the Tesla Model Y Juniper comes with from the factory. So this is going to be, I think, a world first, maybe, efficiency loop using 4 Modern Spare tires on a Tesla while self-driving on a highway. Here I'm gonna put it into chill mode because I don't want it to be speeding. I don't want it to be, I just want to be calm. This is all about staying calm and kind of following traffic. Let's try sloth mode. What if I gain efficiency actually while using the spare tire? I mean, that's not the point of it, but it might be a side effect of it. So let's go find out. All right, so I drove about almost 23 miles. Actually, the car drove itself. And no incidents. There's some construction back there. And the car navigated it fine, and the tires of course are stock, and we have about 2,700 miles on these tires. So everything seems normal, and it should be normal so far. And so now let me get back to Modern Spare headquarters and then swap on those 4 spare tires and do it again. But I really want to learn more about this technology of the spare tire. So I want to talk to Cody as well. All right, I'm driving up into the main studio here at Modern Spare. Let's see, now let's get to work. So here I went 46.8 miles, 10.1 kilowatt hours, 215.4 watt hours per mile. So it works out to almost 4.7 miles per kilowatt hour. Cody, nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you.
So we're starting here at the headquarters, right?
Yep, Modern Spare headquarters.
Whose Viper GTS is that?
That would be mine.
That looks nice.
It is a bit of a handful, and it is nice. It's a good, fun car.
So you're a car guy.
I am a car guy. Yep, I kind of fall in both categories. I like the trucks and I like the cars.
So tell me about Modern Spare. Like, you're one of the people who started it, right?
Yeah, you could consider me the founder of Modern Spare. And it's a business that I didn't really expect to get into, but it just kind of came out of a necessity.
Yeah, because, is that true? Because I've been learning about Modern Spare over the last year or more. And is it true that more than about 50% of new vehicles that are sold now don't have a spare tire?
Correct, yep. So it is a growing trend. It seems like every year there is more vehicles that don't have a spare tire with them. Auto manufacturers are kind of favoring that for a variety of reasons. And so yeah, numbers about half of them don't come with spare tires now. When we got started back in 2017, it was a very small number of cars that didn't have a spare tire. And a little bit of the story of how I got into it is, my wife and I had a pretty basic car, a little Pontiac G6, and we were on a road trip, went up to northern Idaho and found ourselves in the mountains there. Came around a corner and there was a little baby head-sized rock on the road.
Okay.
And I couldn't go into the other lane because there was a car coming, and so I kind of just nailed it. Smacked that rock and got a flat tire. Something very interesting about that flat is the tire wasn't damaged, the rim was damaged, and there was a crack in that alloy wheel. So
it wasn't holding air then?
It wasn't holding air, it went flat. So, pulled over. Luckily, that car did have a spare tire. Drove an hour to Boise, went to 10 different tire shops. They had the tires, but they did not have a wheel. So we did find a dealer that could order us in the wheel, but we would have to wait 4 or 5 days for it to come in.
And the spare, is this a Space Saver?
Space Saver factory supplied spare.
Okay, little tiny.
Little one, very small diameter compared to the other wheels. And so I threw that spare on the back of the car, crossed my fingers, and we made it home, right? Made 10-hour drive on that spare, worked well. And so went to work in making spare tires for what was a pretty select group of specialty vehicles, and added those models. And then over time, Teslas, different EVs did
and
not
most hybrids actually these days
most hybrids
don't have spare tires.
Yep. Yeah. So as vehicles advanced and came with new powertrains that integrated electric powertrains, the spare tires continued to disappear from cars, and that is how we ended up where we are today, where we now have a catalog that is hundreds of different products serving many different manufacturers, and it's kind of become more of a mainstream type thing, whereas years ago it was only specialty vehicles that didn't have spare tires. And so it gives people a product that gives them peace of mind so that they can go places and not have to be worried about getting stranded, and not being able to find a suitable replacement.
Where do you put a spare tire in a Model Y?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, cool thing about Model Y, and really kind of Teslas in particular, is they give you a lot of storage. You have this whole cavity back here, you have the sub trunk, and then you have the front as well. But we wanted to make a solution that was just slick, kind of felt factory, was just seamless in day-to-day life. So we found that there is lots of space underneath here, and it kind of extends past this cavity that you see. And so why not put a spare tire there? Why not?
So it's hidden under the floor?
Hidden. You wouldn't even know it's there. Yeah, that's why I'm saying kind of like the factory approach to it.
All right, Matt.
All right, we are going to install a spare tire into the rear sub-trunk area of our Model Y here. The big question is, well, can I do this with how my Tesla is from the factory? And there's some slight modifications required to the rear area. The good news is it's pretty simple, and we're going to walk through that process.
So a dummy like me could do it?
Yeah, absolutely.
In theory?
Absolutely.
Okay.
100%. It's not complex. We're going to start by removing, of course, these 4 panels. Most of this stuff, of course, set it aside. It's going to be reused. We're going to be reusing this. Pulling trim pieces out of a car can be a little bit intimidating. You don't want to break anything, but it's actually quite easy. We're going to start out with this rear threshold trim piece. It's just basically held in with spring clips. You can use your fingers. We also include one of these pry bars that are designed for removing trim pieces. And you actually just want to pull up. And I understand that people are concerned about removing stuff like this in a brand new expensive car, but Tesla actually did a really good job of designing these clips to release. They're just held in place, well. So, yeah. So in the kit, we include a template. We're going to show you how to line that up to make a cut. You have to keep in mind that the cut that we're doing, there's 2 points that I want to make about this cut. Is it doesn't have to be absolutely precise. Some people are like, oh, what if I cut too much or too low? The idea is we're trying to give space for the wheel to sit in a nice flush manner so that trunk floor fits nice and flush. And so this is an important part. Another thing too to consider is that some people are concerned about cutting up this flooring material on their new car.
Or if it's a leased car, maybe.
It's a leased car, so that actually has come up. Yeah. And the good news about that is this replacement piece, let's say if you wanted to turn the car, on a lease return, you turn it back in, the replacement part of that flooring material from Tesla, it's actually available and not expensive. We're just going to find the center point between these two braces, so we're 32 inches. So right at 16 inches, we're just going to lay the template down like that. We found the center point, and it doesn't have to be any more complicated than that right there. So what you're going to do is utilize this chalk just to make a trace line around this template. Once you've established your cut line, you go ahead and just start making the cut.
So a little bit of foam below it, right?
Yep.
Hey, that wasn't too hard.
13 millimeter socket. This is one of the only tools that we don't provide. You can use a wrench, even an adjustable, crescent wrench if you want, but it works better with just a standard 13 millimeter socket. What we're going to do is we're going to install some anchoring brackets that are included in the kit. And it's these two bolts that are located in the forward section of this sub-trunk area. We're just going to pull these out. Do not discard those because we're going to actually reinstall them right away. Okay, pulled that out. In fact, while I got this one out, I'm going to go ahead and show you what to do. This bracket, we just place that bolt back in and start the process of And for the sake of speeding this up, before we speed up the camera, what we want to do is finish with this bracket facing towards the center of the sub-trunk area. That's the orientation.
Kind of like a corner would be.
Yep.
So you can kind of line it up. I see.
So the kit will come with these anchoring straps. This is what I referenced earlier. Give yourself enough room when you're putting those brackets on to make sure that this can feed through. And it can be a little tricky, but not impossible. This is kind of the core of our sub-trunk storage assembly. This is a support unit that we had engineered and designed specifically for the Tesla Model Y. The installation of this is actually one of the easier parts. In the rearward section of this sub-trunk area, there is a bolt right here. And it's unique in size compared to the other ones. We provide you with this Allen head wrench to remove this bolt. I do want to make one notation. On some years of the Model Y, this will be a standard hex head. And so you might need to find a socket or an adjustable wrench or something to take it out. This is where this wrench that we include comes in handy. You want to insert it into this slot, and you can see it come out the back here. Okay, and you simply just place it down in here, and then you'll see where you can actually line this up into that same hole, and it snugs it down and holds this support assembly in place nice and snug. Initially, when you get your spare tire and you're installing this system, there's really no need to take the tools and everything out. You can actually just leave them as is. All right, so what we've done is we've rested the spare tire assembly onto the support unit with one of the 5 wheel spokes being in the center and resting on this foam right here.
Oh, I see.
We actually include this cover just as an added feature to make it a little nicer in appearance and just to look better. And so that's optional. It's easy to go on. It's actually elastic band underneath, so it just goes around the tire. It's just a much cleaner look. Another component that comes with the assembly, this actually goes down on the back side of the wheel spoke. And then there's these 2 clamps that you'll see that are part of the base unit, and they just clamp on there, and it's there. Not to forget the part about the straps. We are gonna pull these through here. Let's go ahead and put the main cargo floor back in place.
Nice. Look at that, just nice and flush. Nobody knows.
As if we meant to do it that way, huh?
Well, because you did.
We did.
So what are some of the requirements, strength and fitment? What are you designing for?
Sure. So there is weirdly a lot that goes into a spare tire, more than I knew when I got into it. So if you look at like spare tires on vehicles 10, 15, 20 years ago, the manufacturers were really kind of making them as small as possible. The diameter of that spare tire would be noticeably less than what the other tires were on the car. And so as you're going down the road, that would create friction and heat within the drivetrain of the vehicle, and that's kind of where that whole limitation of only drive 50 miles came from.
And also some all-wheel drive vehicles, something that comes to mind, you would could actually damage the system.
Could damage it.
Yeah.
Damage it. So when we were looking at the products, we wanted to give people the ability to drive long distances without damaging their vehicles. So in most cases, especially like on this Tesla Model Y, we're an exact match in terms of the diameter. So the vehicle really cannot tell a difference.
So the speedometer is correct.
Speedometer is correct. Everything's correct. And so there are also some pretty specific load requirements. Chassis behave a little bit differently, and the vehicle weight is substantially more. And we even, have to consider what we build the tools to that go with the spare tire kit. A conventional scissor jack from 10 years ago is not going to be suitable for lifting a Tesla just because the rigidity of the frame is different.
You have a 5-spoke design. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
We partnered with a very top tier wheel manufacturer, some of the most advanced wheel manufacturers in the world, and we ran our engineering requirements through an advanced computer program that optimized the weight and the strength of the spare into a design that satisfied the requirements of the vehicle, but made it as lightweight as possible. The other aspect of it is that I wanted to build it to where, my wife would not have a problem putting a spare tire on a car if she needed to do it. And so we had to build it in a manner where it was very user-friendly, and someone that was on the side of the road could easily pick our spare up and place it. Also like somewhat of a transparent design. You can see the brakes, you can see the wheel, or the caliper, the brake rotor, everything quite easily. So it makes it very easy to see what you are doing when you're placing the spare on the vehicle.
I just wanted to show you the difference. So this is a stock Model Y long-range tire, and this is the modern spare. Drastic difference, but the same diameter.
Yeah, there is the tire pressure monitoring faults on the car. So why not? Is it just additional cost that you don't put the TPMS into a spare?
There's a variety of factors that kind of play into that. One, there's additional expense on it, and then we'd be stocking TPMS sensors for Teslas, Audis, BMWs.
And they're different sometimes.
Yeah, and they're different. And the other thing too is like, the TPMS sensors have a battery. The life on that might be 4 to 7 years. And we just like to make a product that you can buy, put in your car, and it's going to be able to be used in 5 years or 7 years or whatever and still be relevant.
So I wanted to talk a little bit more about potholes, because full self-driving in this car is as good as it is, and we've been using it for now, an hour.
Yeah, it's great.
It likes to stay in its lane, and often in the lane, especially crossing bridges, is potholes.
Right.
So what I've noticed, myself, like right now, we're going over a couple of little,
divots in the road.
Yep. What I noticed, if I was driving, I would shift over a little bit, or maybe I'll change lane. This car, the full self-driving mode, it won't shift for potholes. That's what I noticed. So that's something to think about as well.
Yeah.
And also, like, a lot of cars, not even the full self-driving, but lane centering. Like a lot of vehicles now, most Toyotas have lane centering.
Yeah.
Hondas, everything. That's the same thing.
Cars nowadays, they come with low-profile tires, and they just don't fare as well at hitting a pothole as say a car or like a truck with a taller sidewall tire. Now, have you seen any sign that the car changes its speeds and corners or anything with a spare tire, or is it driving just like it did with full-size tires?
Identical. Because I remember exactly that exit on factory tires. It took it at about the same speed, about 65, and I would have slowed down a little bit more, personally speaking, but the car doesn't seem to care. I mean, it's like,
Just going.
Like you said, diameter matters. Like
Yes.
so, the tire size is the same. So I don't think the car knows.
No, I don't think so either. Other than the TPMS
Yeah,
light,
other than
there's
that.
no indication that it has spare tires on it.
All right, Cody. So we just completed the same loop that I
Right.
did originally on standard tires. And I wanted to show you that before I went about 46.9 miles, I took a slightly different turn in the city.
Okay.
So I went a little bit further on the second loop. And I used 10.1 kilowatt hours in the first one and 9.4 kilowatt hours on the second one. So I just got over 5 miles per kilowatt hour. About almost 10% improvement.
Okay.
I mean, you didn't design these tires
No.
to run. Obviously, it's a temporary spare,
Yes.
but a side effect of a skinny tire is better efficiency.
And a noticeable amount.
Yeah,
As well.
Not like 1%.
Yeah, not like 1%.
Almost 10%.
Yeah.
So don't try this at home, folks. And never skip leg day.
Yeah, don't skip leg day.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, for sure. Didn't really feel different when you were driving it either.
No. So, we were wondering, is it going to be a little bit, the sidewall is going to feel the same or stability is going to be different?
Right.
No, everything was smooth. The car drove itself. Didn't affect FSD, supervised.
It's a hypothetical that if you are trying to set a range record in a Tesla, spare tires may be a pathway to do that.
Interesting.
Yeah, it is interesting.